Hi, welcome back to Nurse Help Nigeria 1. Today, we'll be discussing Florence Nightingale's environmental theory. Florence Nightingale's environmental theory is the foundation of modern nursing, and examiners love it. Like, this particular topic is always there in every examination because it is like the foundation of modern nursing practice. I'll be leaving no concepts. I'll be giving you all the important details, the background, the assumptions, the components, and the applications of this theory. So sit tight, let's go on this ride. Now let's delve into the background of the Florence Nightingale theory. It was developed by Florence Nightingale, who is considered the founder of modern nursing, and it is based on her experiences during the Crimean War, when she noticed poor hygiene, overcrowding, and bad sanitation were causing more deaths than battle wounds. It is published in her book, Notes on Nursing: What It Is and What It Is Not. So there is no one standard statement of Florence Nightingale's environmental theory. Any statement that clearly links environment, nursing care, and patient recovery or healing is considered a correct statement of Nightingale's theory. So I can just say Florence Nightingale's environmental theory states that proper manipulation or proper utilization of the environment promotes healing and prevent disease. Or Florence Nightingale's environmental theory states that nursing is the act of using the environment to promote healing and prevent disease in a patient, right? So I'll be giving just one statement here, which is that Florence Nightingale's environmental theory states that nursing is the act of utilizing the patient environment to promote recovery and allow nature to act in healing the patient. That single sentence is correct, and it is also an exam accepted statement of the theory. The aim of her theory is that one can use the environment to assist nature in healing the patient. So the main concept of this theory is that health can be improved by manipulating the environment to allow nature to act on the patient. That is, nursing is not primarily about medicines or procedures, but about providing the best conditions for nature to act on the patient for the body to heal. So now, what are the assumptions of the theory? What can we deduce from Florence Nightingale's environmental theory? So one of these is what? Natural laws influence health. That is, the sunlight, the air, the environment, the greenery, they all influence health. The amount of ventilation a person receives influences health. The environment in which a person lives, the physical, the biological, the chemical environment, they all what influence health. So natural laws influence health. Number 2 assumption is that nursing is a calling. Nursing is not just a profession. Nursing is not just something you just do for the sake of doing it or for monetary gain. No, it is a calling. It is a gift. It is a passion. It is not just any job. The third assumption of this theory is that nursing is independent of medicine. Although nursing is complementary to medicine, or we can say medicine is complementary to nursing, nursing is independent of medicine. Now, if you draw up a nursing care plan, you always see that the time you administer medication is usually the last resolve or the last step you take in your nursing care plan. It is not the first step in your nursing care plan. For example, if you are doing a nursing care plan for a patient who has just fainted, you don't start looking for a drug, right? you start looking for, okay, how do we make this patient comfortable? Or a patient who is even just anxious, you don't get the patient antidepressant, you get the patient, you try to make the patient comfortable, educate the patient, so nursing is independent of medicine. Nursing is caring for the body, the mind, the soul of a patient. Now, the fourth assumption is that a healthy environment is essential for healing. That is, an environment that is free of disease, that is free of infections, that is free of pathogens, that is free of harmful microorganisms is essential for healing. Else, it will compound the problem on ground. It will compound the health issue. So a healthy environment is very vital for healing. Now, the fifth assumption of the Florence Nightingale theory is that the goal of nursing is to place the patient in the best condition for nature to restore or preserve health. Placing the patient in the best condition, making sure that the patient's bed is neat, it's well arranged, there's enough sunlight, there's enough natural light into the patient's room, there's enough ventilation, there's enough of the natural environment around the patient. You see some hospitals, they put flowers near the patient's bedside. All of this, it is to place the patient in the best condition for nature to restore the person's health or to preserve health. So that is the goal of nursing. That is the goal of nursing for Florence Nightingale's theory. Now, the sixth assumption is that nurses should be morally strong, disciplined, and observant. As a nurse, you should have strong morals, strong values. You should be disciplined and very observant. You should be able to observe your patient, know the likes and the dislikes, understand your patient, know whether your patient is anxious or your patient is relaxed, whether your patient shows knowledge of his or her condition. So you just check all of this. You have to be observant. You have to be disciplined in your approach. You have to be morally strong. Nightingale identified environmental factors that influence patient health. Now, these environmental factors are called the canons of nursing. They are the core concepts of this her theory. So if you say the core concept of the Florence Nightingale's environmental theory, we are talking about the canons of nursing. Remember, her theory forms the foundation of modern nursing. So we call it what? The canons of nursing, and there are 13 in number. 13 canons of nursing. Those are 13 core concepts of nursing, and they influence patient health. So number one core concept is what, or number one environmental factor is what? Ventilation and warming. Fresh air, good ventilation, warmth. That's what we're talking about. For ventilation and warming, there has to be fresh air for the patient, good ventilation. The air should not be too cold, neither should it be too warm for the patient. Then number two is health of houses. We need to have clean and safe buildings. Number three is petty management. This petty management includes continuity of care and no neglected details. Every little detail is managed. Noise is the fourth factor. You say avoid unnecessary noise, promote quietness. Number five is variety. Provide stimulation, that's colors, flowers, reading, to prevent boredom and depression. Ensure that the patient's room is colorful, is bright as possible. Provide stimulation to prevent boredom and depression. Then number six is food intake. Ensure that there is proper diet and ensure to monitor meals of the patient. Number seven is bed and bedding. There should be provision of what? Clean, comfortable, dry beds. Number eight is light. There should be adequate sunlight and artificial light. For example, at night, yes. So there should be artificial light and then there should be adequate sunlight. That's why I go to most hospitals, like good hospitals, of course. and you see there's light everywhere. It is one of the core concepts of this theory. Number 9, cleanliness of rooms and walls, hygiene of surroundings. The surroundings have to be neat, have to be clean. The rooms and the walls have to be neat. Then number 10, personal cleanliness. The patient has to be to have a good hygiene. So for personal cleanliness, we're talking about the hygiene of the patient. Number 11 is chattering hopes and advice. Avoid giving false hope. Provide emotional support instead. Don't tell the patient what is not. Don't give the patient false hope, but you can provide emotional support. Number 12, observation of the sick. Accurate, continuous observation. Always ensure you observe the patient for any reactions or any abnormal or unusual behavior. Number 13 and the last, social considerations. Account for the patient's social, psychological, and spiritual needs. Always make sure you consider the patient in all respects, socially, psychologically, and spiritually. Now, the 4 core concepts of nursing. These ones are not environmental factors now. The core concept of nursing, not just the core concept of the theory. The core concept of nursing in Nightingale's theory are the person, that is the patient, the environment, the health, and nursing. For the person, that's the patient is the recipient of care, and the person has reparative powers to heal if the environment supports it. That is, the person has the powers for the body to be repaired, for the body to heal, if and only if the environment supports it. Now, the environment, that's number 2. External factors that affect life and health. The environment are external factors that affect life and health, and they include air, water, cleanliness, light, noise, diet, etc. Then number 3 is health. Health is a state of well-being achieved by a healthy environment. Now number 4 is nursing. Nursing is manipulating the environment to help the patient recover. While we have several definitions of nursing, for Florence Nightingale's environmental theory, the concept of nursing is simply manipulating the environment to help the patient recover. So for Florence Nightingale's definition, according to her theory, if you are a nurse, you are someone who is able to manipulate the environment to help a patient recover. So what are the applications of this theory in nursing practice? How has this theory influenced nursing practice? We can see it in hospital wards where there is good ventilation, clean surroundings, and control of noise. And in community nursing, we see it in sanitation, waste disposal, safe water, healthy housing. This theory is also applied in bedside care, where we ensure patient hygiene, cleanliness, nutritious food, and proper observation. It is also applicable in public health, where there is advocacy for improved sanitation systems, clean water supply, and health education. So what are the strengths of this theory? How strong, how good is it? What are its strengths? Simple and easy to apply in any setting. It is the foundation of modern nursing and hospital design. It emphasizes holistic care, physical, psychological, social, and environmental. Now, while this theory is so good, it still has some limitations. What are these limitations? 1, it was developed in the 19th century. Some factors seem outdated compared to advanced medical technology. Number 2 limitation, it focuses mainly on physical environment, less on today's complex health determinants. So today we have genetics, social inequities, and mental health, which determine health as well. But this theory focuses mainly on physical environment. So now for exam tips. Number 1, always mention 13 canons. They are the core concepts. So whenever you want to, whenever you're talking about the Florence Nightingale's environmental theory, always ensure you mention the 13 canons of Florence Nightingale's environmental theory. Number 2, always state that the theory is holistic. It is preventive and foundational to nursing practice. That is, it is holistic in the sense that it covers both the social, the environmental, the psychological, and even the spiritual aspects. Then number 3, link it to infection control and environmental health, especially relevant after COVID-19. So now that we are past COVID-19, you have to link this theory to infection control. How does this theory help in infection control? How does it help in environmental health? All right. So that's the complete breakdown. If you cover all these points in your exam, you won't miss any marks in any nursing theory exam. So that's it for Florence Nightingale's environmental theory. To ensure that you do not miss any other videos on the theories and other nursing concepts and other nursing topics, ensure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you can always get notified whenever a new video drops. See you in the next video.